is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. But here now the news for March 2nd, 2026. Before we start the news, though, I'll just say, obviously this is not our studio. If you missed Friday's show, you missed the fact that that was our final show in the studio we've been in for about 5 years now. So the 1136 Celebration Boulevard studio is no more. We're moving into our new home next door. That's going to happen fully sometime in May. So until May, the news is going to be in here, or from Singapore, or from Paris, or from Tokyo, or from all sorts of places all around the world. So bear with us until May, and we'll have that new studio set up and perfect, and we're ready to have a new permanent home for the news. But speaking of the news, let's do it. A new How Not to Draw short starring Figment has debuted on the Disney Channel Animation YouTube channel. Sorry, there's a lot of channels in there. With the new tutorial comes a new voice for the beloved dragon. The short is narrated by famous Disney Parks fan Neil Patrick Harris, who speaks with Figment about imagination while the pair create different drawings using inspiration from items around the room. While similar to what you hear in Journey into Imagination with Figment, the current ride, the Figment voice is brand new, in fact. The voice you hear in the ride is Dave Goelz of Muppet fame. Originally, it was Billy Barty in the first version of the attraction, and in some peripheral media. Corey Burton filled in somewhere in the middle, but the new voice of Figment is AJ Locascio, who is, this is the second time voicing the character. The first time was the Disney Speedstorm video game. The video, though, is definitely worth a watch. There's many hidden details and references to the original version of Journey into Imagination, as well as all the other versions, including the sheet music for One Little Spark, a song, of course, written by the legendary Sherman Brothers. The cat and bat blocks are a reference to version 1 of the attraction, where in the literature scene, the scary stories, Figment would hold blocks that changed between cat and bat. Other nods in the scene include the footprints that appear in the current attraction and at that attraction's exit. There's a plasma ball at one point that has science written behind it. That's a reference to the original science scene. Also behind the plasma ball are the glass pyramids. Of course, that is the facade, the building in which the attraction is housed. Interestingly enough, we take a journey outside of the Imagination Pavilion. There's a nod to the orange bird. All of our park favorites are in this thing. The short also lovingly references the Dreammobile from the original attraction. No Dreamfinder, though. It's very sad there's no Dreamfinder. Another thing I really liked is that at one point there's a rainbow, and they dip a paintbrush into the rainbow. Of course, in the first scene of the first attraction, Figment says, "Ooh, a rainbow, I'll use that to paint with," and that's what happens in this video. This was supposed to release on Tuesday, March 3rd. It came out early on March 1st. Figment's birthday is March 5th. The original attraction opened on March 5th, 1983. I'm just going to stop for a moment. We have to talk about Figment for a moment. This is incredible. I got teary-eyed watching this. To see Figment in other media, to see an original creation with Figment, even if it's just on a YouTube channel, there was time and money spent on this, and it got me teary-eyed. And it really got me teary-eyed, not only seeing Figment like come to life in essentially 2D animation, which is, you know, how he was represented in a lot of the 1983 attraction, but to see so many loving nods to the first version of the ride. Clearly someone either A, did their homework, or B, is a huge fan. And it puts a lot of joy in my heart. This is a wonderful, weird, kooky thing that's happened, and you and I we have a job right now, and that job is to leave this thing on loop in the background all day so the views keep going up and up and up, just like the Muppet Show on Disney Plus. Just put this thing on in the background and get those viewership numbers to go up, because the world, the Disney company, the corporate officers, the managers, the executives in the Walt Disney Company need to see how much people love this character. Clearly, there are creative people in this company that love this character and get it, or this wouldn't exist. This is usually a platform to promote Disney's animated characters from their films, their IP, if you will. Not that Figment isn't an IP. He certainly is. But this is a big deal that this has happened, and it has to be properly supported. So please, even if you don't want to go loop in the background, if you haven't watched it yet, you have to go watch it. We have to get Figment back. I will say the one sad thing is clearly like the Dreamfinder's not mentioned nor in the blimp. So it seems clear that he's probably never going to come back. Like they've decided no old bearded man with the dragon. We don't want that. But we need Figment to be brought back to life. We need to convince the Walt Disney Company to spend a couple $100 million on a new ride for this character. This is a big opportunity. This is a very big opportunity. I know there's supposed to be a movie. There was supposed to be a TV show. It sounds like neither of those things are actively in production right now. Let's get them back into active production by proving that there is money in this character. Let's make it happen. For the first time since the repainting project began for Cinderella Castle, boom lifts are up and visible in front of guests while crews actively paint. The boom lifts were on both sides of the castle beginning on the morning of February 27th. We noticed them as soon as we walked into the park, despite it being foggy that day. Crews were up working near the top of the castle on the front side, and we noticed the boom lifts parked in the empty moat just 2 days prior, which was the first indication we would see them in action. There's also scaffolding, platforms, and stairs to make it easier for crew members to get to the lifts. And though the painting has been underway for over a month, construction vehicles have not been visible to guests until now. Disney has said the cranes will be lowered about midday, about noon each day. Work is expected to be completed by later this year. The restrooms near Casey's Corner at the Magic Kingdom have reopened, revealing a completely new look. They've been closed for several months and have been unavailable to guests. The restrooms have, again, a completely new look with updated flooring, new tile work, and more. Walking in, the first thing you notice is the flooring. It's white and with black tile with a checker print pattern on the edges. The walls have white and blue subway tiles, and the restroom partitions are deep brown wood color. The hand washing area has several stations and a singular long sink, similar to other restrooms, and there are chrome accents like the trash can, feminine hygiene products dispenser, and hand dryers. A sign above the hand dryers and soap dispensers reads, "Lather up," in an early 1900s style. The diaper changing area is also blue, like the sinks, and has blue and white subway tile. The exterior of the restrooms is unchanged, but the construction walls have been removed. You know, there are little weird signs that we're in a better place at Walt Disney World. It's not necessarily the big stuff, right? It's not Rivers of America, and it's not Muppet Vision 3D, but Magic Kingdom the last couple years, understanding their restrooms are old and dilapidated and kind of gross, and completely remodeling them. The Pinocchio Village House had like the worst restrooms I've ever been in. And now they're magnificent, they're beautiful. Same thing here, these were not great. And I love that tile work, custom tile work got done. And with this lather up, it actually fits Main Street, it fits the time period. This is great, awesome to see this, more of this. And I'm looking at you, Pecos Bill Bathrooms, you're next. As work continues to turn the former Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island into Piston Peak National Park of the Magic Kingdom from Disney Pixar's Cars, two long-standing staples of Frontierland seem to be next on the chopping block. Sources have informed us that both Big Al's and Westward Ho are set to close in the near future to allow further demolition and construction related to the Cars area. Permits were filed for these changes just a few weeks ago, but their futures remained uncertain at that time. Big Al's has sold merchandise such as coonskin caps and cowboy hats over the years, as well as less thematic items such as bubble wands more recently. The shop is themed to have been Al's Cabin, which he later turned into a shop to bank on the success of the Country Bears. It became Big Al's in 1989 during the existence of the Country Bear Vacation Hoedown. The kiosk was originally a ticket booth when the park opened in 1971. Of course, you needed A through E tickets to ride attractions. But then when that was done away with, it became a wood carving station. If it is demolished, the last remaining former ride ticket booths in the park will be the Disney Vacation Club kiosk in Tomorrowland and a portion of the Memento Mori facade in Liberty Square. But those will be the last two. Westward Ho is a snack stand serving frozen lemonade, cold brew, and snacks such as mini corn dogs that's just down the path a little bit. The nearby ice cream, churro, and popcorn carts will be relocated elsewhere in Frontierland when this work begins. The construction walls surrounding the future Piston Peak area will be moved forward into the existing Riverwalk area. Of course, we've seen in the concept art there will continue to be a boardwalk. So I guess, I don't know if they're going to rebuild that or they just need guests pushed a little further back from the active construction. It's not clear why this needs to happen, but it does need to. Meanwhile, a pedestrian pathway will be temporarily installed along the promenade for parade viewing and movement during the few years of expected construction. We're also told that cast member jobs will not be negatively impacted by the closures. In fact, those who are at these locations will simply be moved to other locations in Frontierland. They will not be moving far away. This is super sad because that Big Al kiosk goes back to 1971. It was a ticket booth. It's sad to see that go. I know people feel like we're losing more and more and more for this Cars project. It does certainly feel that way, losing more and more of Frontierland. This is probably the last round of losses, but I'm heartbroken about Big Al's. I'm sure you all are too. Magic Kingdom's Diamond Horseshoe is closing to make way for Jesse's Roundup, the Toy Story experience coming this summer for Cool Kids Summer. Pals from Toy Story are ready for a rootin' tootin' good time at the Horseshoe. Jesse, Woody, and friends will be there for some energetic fun at Jesse's Roundup, where guests can craft, dance, and yodel their hearts out in this Western review. Further details will be announced later, but in the meantime, we do have news on when the Diamond Horseshoe will need to close to begin preparations. The table service will end on May 16th, 2026, but dining will return sometime in the fall. So this is not the end of Diamond Horseshoe as the spillover Liberty Tree Tavern location. Don't worry, that'll be back. But it's interesting that they're gonna, that is a revenue generating location. And for Cool Kids Summer to have another thing for kids to do, they're going to take away a whole restaurant at Magic Kingdom just for the summer to make this a show venue again. I find that pretty interesting. The last show to perform at the Diamond Horseshoe was over 20 years ago. It was Goofy's Country Dancin' Jamboree, which ran in 2003. There was a Christmas version of that show also. But the Diamond Horseshoe Review closed. The original show in the venue closed on February 1st, 2003. That was an opening day attraction at the Magic Kingdom. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guests Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guests and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to www.travel and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. And the best part is their concierge services are 100%, I can't hear you, Eric.
Free!
Thank you, Eric. They are free. So book today. And real quick, I want to mention, Be Our Guest is helping us coordinate our first ever group cruise. It's History on the High Seas, a WDWNT cruise. We have a handful of staterooms left. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gone by the time this show airs, but it's worth taking a look. It is this September. We have a wonderful 5-day cruise that includes both Castaway Cay and Lookout Cay, and as well, on board will be Imagineers and those who brought Disney Cruise Line to life. Jane Alcorn's going to give us a personal tour of Castaway Cay and tell us all the secrets behind the island, how they developed it into the destination it's become, and so much more. So join us. Find out more at events.wdwnt.com. As rumors have swirled around changes to Villains Land at Walt Disney World, a new permit was found where a few differences can be noted. It's worth noting, though, that the document doesn't necessarily indicate plans have changed. They may just be better defined than previous permits. And maybe Disney is trolling us, if I'm being honest. When it comes to the buildings, they appear to be in the same locations with very minor differences in their overall footprints. The building closest to the Haunted Mansion now has a visible indent, while the possible large dark ride building to the north is ever so slightly bigger, as is the other show building. The smaller building behind the two is also seemingly slightly wider on one side. The Piston Peak buildings largely remain the same, although the large rectangular building between the two lands is noticeably smaller and wider on this permit. While some erroneously believed the water lines had changed significantly, the utilities layout for the potable water is for the potable water system, while the other permit, the one that was released a couple weeks ago, was for wastewater. So those are two different kinds of water lines. No other significant changes can be noted with this permit when it comes to water management. Overall, it still seems unlikely that the rumored changes have occurred. Of course, I went on several rants last week about this. Look, the permits are slightly different. The permits still in no way indicate an outdoor roller coaster. That outdoor roller coaster would have a covered queue. It would have some sort of structure. There are a number of things that people think changed in these plans that just aren't visible here. They're not here. The building shapes are slightly different, but that's not what the rumor was. The rumor people said was everything changed. And if that's the case, I don't see that here. I know other people in the know who have written about the topic concurred with me and have said the same thing. I know there's people that like to stir the pot out there that are pushing this hard, but it's just not true. It's just not true. And I have a bad feeling in August, no matter what finalized concept art is revealed to us, people are going to try to take a victory lap as if this project changed, but it just hasn't. It just never changed. It went from blue sky, it was finalized, we saw art, and then it's been that plan for over a year, and it hasn't deviated. So we're getting what we're getting, and I think we need to accept that and understand that we don't even really know what we're getting fully, so we should just be excited about that and hope that that turns out great. It's just weird that we keep harping on this thing, and there's no proof really out there, although Disney, I don't know, Disney's like the slight little minor changes to buildings does have me scratching my head. That does feel, Disney knows we're all talking about this. And it does feel like someone's having fun. Somebody had some fun with us this week, is what I would say. After having gone missing for a period of time, the sea captain has returned to the graveyard scene of the Magic Kingdom's Haunted Mansion. He has a different look, though. The captain appears to be wearing a different hat, while his outfit appears to have been unchanged. He may have received a new face and hair, although it's not easy to tell with the low lighting in the scene. He also appears to be holding his cup lower than he did previously, but that might just be because he's repaired. That might be where he's supposed to hold the cup. It just, for years, he probably was damaged. But nice to see we're still fixing figures in the Haunted Mansion. Still happening. The guest-damaged queue of the Barnstormer at Magic Kingdom has been partially repaired. There are still scratches, peeled paint, and more to be fixed, though, through the queue. The most visible damage was on and around the Wheel of Peril. This prop is near the merge point for Standby and Lightning Lane, acting as a wall between them. The wooden wheel and its support structure still have some of the scratches and splotches, and some of those are intentional design decisions. There are also scuff marks on the wheel, which still remain, but the handles, however, have been replaced. The posts holding up the adjacent Wheel of Peril banner have also been repaired or replaced, and the faux wood exteriors were completely stripped away in some areas, revealing the metal below. So nice to see that this has been taken care of. But unfortunately, there are still some other areas of the queue that need some TLC. But this certainly means that they are listening and they've started on it. And hopefully, very, very soon they'll be done and the queue will look brand new again. Muppets, Moana, Groot, and other character topiaries have been installed for the EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival 2026. Located near the port of entry, you'll find topiaries of Moana, Maui, and Pua on a sandy beach. And although the Groot topiary is up in World Discovery near Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, he does not appear to be playing music yet. He holds a mixtape up over his head. Kermit rides a bicycle and Miss Piggy sits on top of a suitcase for their topiary displays. This is a returning one. It's located outside the Canada Pavilion where Bambi used to be. If Bambi's not returning this year, I will be very upset. Princess Tiana's topiary is located at the American Adventure. Her green dress is made of flowers and a large white water lily sits on her hip. Once again this year, the Germany Pavilion has the Seven Dwarfs in topiary form, and Snow White had been installed previously, but now she's joined by her friends. These three geese topiaries are located in the Canada Pavilion. A large topiary display features Mickey, Minnie, Pluto, and Chip and Dale in a flower bed. A kite and basket accessories accent the space. It's located in the middle of the walkway leading up to the creation shop. A pair of butterfly topiaries surrounded by pots of flowers has been installed near the Mickey and Friends topiary in World Celebration. The Figment topiary was recently installed for the festival as well, just a couple weeks ago. The Flower and Garden Festival runs from March 4th to June 1st. And of course, we will be there this Wednesday to bring you all, I think, Eric, is it 53 items now we figured out?
Allegedly.
I think we have 53 new items to review. If you want to watch us review those items, that review is not going to go up on this channel. It's going to go up on the WDWNT POV YouTube channel. So go subscribe over there to make sure you don't miss us overindulging on Wednesday. And I hate to use the word indulge because that would mean there's some joy. But the only joy we have is when it's done knowing that it's going to help you not eat bad food. That's the only joy there is to be taken from it. The Trading Post Refreshments Bar in the Canada Pavilion of EPCOT has permanently closed as of February 27th. A selection of Canadian beer, ice wine, and wine were previously available here. Non-alcoholic beverages were also sold. We were just at the bar on Tuesday, February 24th. We noticed the menu had been removed, but the bar was still open. Canned and bottled beer will still be sold at the merchandise location in the pavilion, but ice wine is now only available in Le Cellier, the pavilion's table service restaurant. We're unsure what they're going to do with this space, but either way, they've said it's closed permanently. It's gone. Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith at Disney's Hollywood Studios, speaking of things permanently gone, it's closed. It's done. The ride, though, will be reimagined into a Muppets attraction, as you know. During the final day of operation, it had wait times up to 115 minutes and was even the longest wait in all of Walt Disney World. At 8:30, just a half hour before Hollywood Studios was set to close, the ride was sitting at 85 minutes before the wait time jumped back to 115 by 8:45. Of course, that's because, people are immature and stand outside the ride and just want to jump in at the last minute. I heard, as usual, there were horror stories last night of people doing this, and people got thrown out of line for doing it, and all I could say is good. Good. When the cast members tell you they're about to close the line, please get in it. Get in it, and don't continually try to jump behind people once you've already entered the line. Don't be giant children. Let's be adults about it. If you end up in the last train, you end up in the last train. If you don't, you were there at the end anyway. Stop being mean to everyone around you. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, the Rock and Roller Coaster guitar is now surrounded by construction walls. The lettering was removed from the guitar, so the Rock and Roller Coaster logo and the starring Aerosmith, all gone. It's all ripped off, as you can see. The giant poster next to the guitar is gone as well. This will be replaced by one featuring the Muppets. The guitar will remain, but will be repainted and get new light-up lettering. Concept art for the update is on the construction walls. The ride's entrance structure is still visible, but blocked by rolling planters. An A-frame sign referencing the Muppets is up, saying, "We're moving right along." It reads, "Rock and Roller Coaster is currently closed as we load in the band." The sign was in front of the Rock and Roller Coaster courtyard gates before the space opened this morning. The Rock Your Face painting station, the KR&R, the Rock Station food truck, Shop and Roll, and Pretzel Palooza, all those kiosks are still operating as of today. We don't know if those are going to close at any point. We don't know if they're going to get rethemed. We have no idea, but they're operating right now. Also, after the ride's closure, the iconic Rock and Roller Coaster guitar was removed from the Walt Disney World digital map on the My Disney Experience app and online. The guitar is not pictured, although the ride's entrance remained. Rock and Roller Coaster and its gift shop, Rock Around the Shop, are no longer listed in the app either. It's also worth noting that at the entrance gate of the courtyard, they also removed the starring Aerosmith from the top. They wasted no time taking that down. We assume the rest of that text will remain, and they'll just add starring the Muppets there is the assumption. Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets will open this summer. In the new version of the attraction, guests will join the Electric Mayhem, Kermit, Miss Piggy, and more Muppets at G-Force Records. The studio has been bought by Scooter's uncle, real estate tycoon and owner of the Muppet Theater, J.P. Gross. He put Scooter in charge, and guests will meet the manager in animatronic form in the new pre-show, along with some animatronic Penguin audio engineers. Miss Piggy and Kermit will appear on screen, it looks like. Guests on the VIP tour will see the Electric Mayhem delayed in their recording studio before they head out to their concert across town. Thankfully, Muppet Labs has souped up a limousine to get guests across Hollywood in time to reach the concert. The scenery and landmarks will feature a Muppet twist, and guests will also hear the Electric Mayhem playing iconic hits. Outside the ride's iconic guitar, we'll get a psychedelic Electric Mayhem-inspired makeover, and the piano motif at the base of the guitar will include one gold key as a nod to Dr. Teeth's gold tooth. The concept art also includes the new ride poster on the wall of the building. A new guide map was released at Disney's Hollywood Studios today, featuring the closure of Rock and Roller Coaster, but it also includes the new Mickey Mouse Clubhouse show. The new cover photo depicts Chewbacca and guests in front of the Millennium Falcon. On the full map, future home of Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live is now over the animation courtyard, indicating I think that's going to open relatively soon. I would bet by Memorial Day. At the end of Sunset Boulevard, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith is gone. It's also been removed, as we talked about, on the digital versions. On the map, there's now text stating that the space is the future home of Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. Other small changes to the map include the addition of the Toy Story Land snack kiosk and that new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge seating area. Those are just pictured on the map, but they're not listed in the key. We've, of course, been following the saga of Gertie the dinosaur's tail for the last few weeks. It now seems Gertie's tail fell off into the water. On February 14th, our reporters noticed a deep crack running along Gertie's backside. The spot is normally hidden by landscaping, but with the removal of vegetation due to that freeze we had here in Florida, the structure was now fully visible to guests. By February 16th, the crack had been patched and painted over, but the fix was insufficient and the crack reopened by February 27th. But now, not only did the crack reopen, that whole little backside of Gertie just fell off right into the water. It was just sitting there in the water the last time we checked. But now Disney is attempting to hide this with a couple of crates. There's a blue and an orange box, both splotchy and rusted, sitting on the banks of Echo Lake, so people don't notice that Gertie's backside is broken. But, oh, we noticed. Oh, don't you worry. We're going to keep looking until this is fixed. Also, you guys don't have just like brown crates? It's 1930s Hollywood. Can you guys just put like some brown crates there, maybe? I don't expect this to be fixed overnight. I know this is going to require a little bit of work. I get it, but, you know, just maybe some brown crates. Thanks to BioReconstruct on X, we have regular aerial updates of all the progress on Monstropolis at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Just beyond the rockwork facades of Galaxy's Edge, work continues on the area that will be home to that Monsters, Inc. door roller coaster. It appears that a sand base for the new park perimeter road is in progress around the future show building. Currently, there are multiple levels to the progress, including concrete poured over sand, conduits, rebar, and footers. The initial slab of concrete was poured back in December. In mid-January, following the first slab, a layer of engineered fill was spread that completely covered the entire first layer of concrete. Now that the foundation system is almost complete, we'll likely see vertical construction on the roller coaster very, very soon. Probably the coaster first and then the building. That's usually how these things go. We'll have to wait and see. But this, of course, will be the first suspended roller coaster and first ever vertical lift roller coaster for the Walt Disney Company. In the newest aerial photos from BioReconstruct, we also saw that there are several piles of rubble indicating that demolition has begun inside of Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom. Theming models have also arrived near the edge of construction. In our last aerial update, the entire courtyard in front of Dinosaur had been demolished, and while the marquee featuring the Carnotaurus and the Meteors is still up there, it appears some demolition has begun elsewhere. There are piles of rubble and metal sitting in front of the attraction. Not sure where this is all from. My assumption would be the queue. I don't think it's from inside the ride because there's several garage doors or access points to the show building itself that would make more sense to bring this stuff out, but who knows? The pedestal where Dino Sue once stood is still behind fencing, although the replica of Sue, the T-Rex, was removed a couple of weeks ago. The walkway that previously divided the two sections of construction is now completely unrecognizable as construction continues on the entire land, including that future carousel. A new yellow layer has been added to the structure's base, which will serve as a moisture barrier for the carousel foundation. The layer prevents water from seeping in and ruining the ride system. Meanwhile, the Encanto ride building was recently topped off, a tradition that signifies that vertical construction has reached its highest point. The attraction's facade will be inspired by the casita from the film, and with the show building reaching such a milestone, the steel frame is now being erected for the entrance areas of the ride, and honestly, it probably means they're closing in on finishing the structure itself. They'll start sealing that in relatively soon. Another sign of forward progress in the aerial look is the models and theming in progress for Tropical Americas. The models serve as examples of colors and textures for the facades and theming elements. They'll help those that are actually going to be doing the facade finishing on site make sure they essentially create what the intended finished product is. A Walt Disney World eatery known for selling a $22 slice of cake is being accused by at least 10 former employees of paying them under minimum wage and more. Former servers and bartenders of the Cake Bake Shop restaurant by Gwendolyn Rogers said they relied on tips but were instead assigned excessive additional duties, so they were not compensated fairly, according to complaints filed in small claims Orange County civil and federal courts in 2025 and 2026. The workers complained money was also taken out of their paychecks for uniform cleaning or shoe purchases. Others said they were required to spend up to an hour each shift preparing their work uniform, but they were required to do so off the clock. According to court records, defendants have and continue to willfully violate the Florida Minimum Wage Act by not paying the wages owed to the plaintiff. Gwendolyn Rogers reaped the benefits of ownership while escaping the corporate liabilities in the form of wage requirements. The litigation is being handled by the same attorney, Tanner Reisch, who declined to comment. The Cake Bake Shop, which operates a location at Disney World's BoardWalk Hotel, also declined to comment on the allegations but issued a statement. Quote, "We remain firmly committed to our team members who are at the foundation of our organization. We take great pride in their professionalism, dedication, and the care they bring to their work each day," said Angie Daniel, vice president of the Cake Bake Shop. We are equally committed to fostering a respectful, positive workplace where every member of our team feels supported and has the opportunity to thrive. Some of the cases filed last year reached a settlement of the owed wages and legal fees, then were voluntarily dismissed, shows the court records. The pending federal lawsuit against Cake Bake Shop filed by an ex-bartender said the damages for violating Florida's Minimum Wage Act and the Fair Labor Standards Act were between $15,000 to $50,000, exclusive of interest, costs, and attorney's fees. In addition to making drinks or serving food, some of the workers' job duties, according to the lawsuit, required cleaning, stocking, packing to-go orders, washing dishes, dusting, mopping, and being in charge of heavy LED lamps every morning and night. The lawsuit states that rather than being occasional, the side work the plaintiff was required to undertake occupied substantial, discrete, and insular periods of the plaintiff's workday. The plaintiff was required to work for substantial periods of time before the plaintiff's tip-producing shift began. Plaintiff was additionally required to work for substantial periods of time after the shift concluded. Plaintiff had sustained periods of time during shifts where only side work tasks were being performed. The bakery, of course, became a controversial sensation for its prices before it opened in 2024. WWT, of course, was part of the media blitz and reviewed 4 cake slices that came in at $93, but we did like them. Walt Disney World has announced a lengthy refurbishment of both the Turf Club Bar and Grill and the lounge at the Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. The closure of the restaurant will be phased, lasting from the middle of March to the middle of September. The lounge will close first, while the bar and grill will stay open. A modified menu and additional pop-up bar will be available until the middle of August, when the bar and grill will close as the lounge reopens. The patio will supposedly close sometime in August. Disney has not announced any details of the refurb just yet, but I will say, I love Turf Club. The menu's actually very good, but that interior is probably begging for a fix. That being said, current Disney remodels, I'm expecting white walls and very minimal theming, so I'm going to regret saying this. But either way, both venues should be open again by the middle of September. I hope this turns out good. Disney Springs announced the Crazy Shake pop-up just over a week ago, but now we have the full menu and pricing for when the pop-up opens. It replaces the former Sprinkles building. Of course, all Sprinkles locations close permanently on January 1st. Crazy Shake serves Instagrammable shakes, including the special edition Mickey Mouse Shake, which will be available at this location. The full menu is available on our website if you'd like to read it. Each of the shakes will cost $17.50, although the Mickey Shake is $24. It's Cake Bake Shop all over again. Hopefully they pay people minimum wage, though. Black Tap Craft Burgers and Shakes has a handful of locations across the U.S., including one at Downtown Disney at the Disneyland Resort. The Crazy Shake is their brand of specialty milkshake. I'm going to say this. I know we're going to cover it tomorrow, but I'll say this much. I think they're vastly overrated. They're just not worth the price. They're not that good. Cake Bake Shop, I'd rather spend $24 at the Cake Bake Shop, if I'm being honest. That Millionaire Slice is where it's at. Just very expensive. Aerophile, known as the world leader in balloon flight, has reopened at Disney Springs following a closure for maintenance. The large helium balloon was missing from the skyline of Disney Springs for several days. We even saw crews working in the area. However, during our most recent visit to the experience, it did get a new balloon. We confirmed with cast members that the balloon is in fact new. The experience is open daily from 9:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's an 8-minute flight over 400 feet in the sky above the ground. Tickets can be purchased at the attraction's location on a first-come, first-served basis. It's $24.99 for children ages 3 to 9 and $29.99 for adults ages 10 and older. And I've still never done this. Eric's shocked. I tried at least 10 times when they were in soft openings like 15 years ago, and every time I went, they closed due to wind. So I've still never done it. Anyway, I know, I need to do it. During our February 26th visit to Disney Springs, we noticed a new Gothic facade added to Gideon's Bakehouse's future Six Ravens Eatery. The former Art of Shaving location received a new wood exterior in anticipation of the opening of Six Ravens later this year. The former facade had beige and cream-colored walls with gray awnings. The window and roof trim are gray and red. The new facade has gray wood panels covering the front and distressed wood trim decorating the top of the building. The wood panels continue down the sides of the building with the distressed wood trim decorating the edges of the awnings. The windows and doors are still painted red for now. The rolling planters we previously reported on are still currently blocking the entrance while they install this new facade. Gideon's announced the new location on their 5th anniversary. The shop will offer coffins, an original term for hand pies made of fluffy yeast bread, as well as potatoes, local draft beer, and desserts. Real quick, I want to mention Carousel of Products at carouselofproducts.com. We have a number of new items celebrating the life and times of Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, the first of which is this really cool license plate. Paul Osterhout, who was the creative lead on Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith, everyone on the team got their license plate from the limo to take home. They got one. And so we digitally scanned Paul's and made an exact replica of that, but we changed some of the text to reflect the closure of Rock and Roller Coaster. This is the exact dimensions. It's smaller than a real license plate, but it has all the right coloring and details. We spent a lot of time making this happen, but this is available right now. Also available, if you want to take home all the license plates, we have this great limited edition of 125 pin set, which features all 5 license plates from the ride. This was a labor of love because some of these are not in the ride anymore. So we had to talk to the Imagineers who have these license plates to figure out what they said, what the numbers were, all of that, and we made it happen. I think it's a really cool set, and again, all the license plates. And we also have our new license plate, the one we created for the farewell, as a completer pin you could buy if you want to put that right in the middle of your card. Also available is this magnet. We digitally scanned, if you watched the event over the weekend that we provided, you know this story. But of course, the team that worked on the pre-show for Rock and Roller Coaster, because it was so hot with the lighting, because it had to be filmed in a special way with show scan, it was so hot that they created special team member shirts for everyone who worked on the production, including Aerosmith, that said, "I survived the Rock and Roller Toaster." We digitally scanned that shirt, cleaned up the art, and you can finally, for the first time ever, you can own that art. And we put it on a magnet so everyone could keep it in the kitchen near their toaster. So all this and more available now at carouselofproducts.com. And you can also pre-order right now this brand new shirt celebrating Rock and Roller Coaster. We got the G-Force Records logo. All the signage from inside the ride is here. You can remember it forever. This new button-up shirt, again, on pre-order. This will be coming this summer, probably just in time for Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. Main Street USA is now fully concealed by scrim at Disneyland, stretching from Carnation Cafe to the refreshment corner. Construction walls also block the windows. The beige scrim walls start at Carnation Cafe, where the scaffolding surrounds the entire corner facade of the restaurant. Scrim is tall enough that it conceals the decorative brick sides and roofs as well. The scrim continues down Main Street with beige walls concealing the decorative facade of the Gibson Girl, the Penny Arcade, and Candy Palace and Candy Kitchen. There are some manufactured doorways with signs pointing to where guests can enter. The scrim walls and scaffolding end at Refreshment Corner. We're not sure how long this will be up, but we assume they're just doing some regular exterior facade maintenance on Main Street. It is going to affect your castle pictures for a little while, though. Gummy candy celebrating the Disney park foods we love to eat, or in my case, some of which we love to hate. From turkey legs to Dole Whips and Mickey Waffles has landed at the Wonderful World of Sweets at Downtown Disney. We expect this is coming to Disney World too, though. The gummy candy comes in a 6-ounce resealable bag, and at the top of the bag, it says park food gummies shaped like your favorite treats. Of course, the package does say, don't skip leg day. Gross. The gummies are shaped like 6 iconic Disney Parks foods. There's a turkey leg, a Dole Whip, a Mickey Waffle, a mini cupcake, a Mickey donut, and a box of popcorn. And the candy comes in 3 flavors, though it's not flavored to turkey leg. Don't get too excited. There's pineapple cream, which is the yellow and white. Strawberry is the red and white colors. And vanilla is going to be those brown and white. Again, this is at the Wonderful World of Sweets at Downtown Disney, but we expect it'll be resort-wide and probably at Walt Disney World very, very soon if you want to eat a gummy turkey leg. The steel canopy currently being installed at the Avengers campus is now easily visible from Cars Land at Disney California Adventure. We saw cast members and other crew members on a cherry picker actively inspecting recent installations on the canopy. Also noticeable is how visible the steel framework is from next door in Cars Land, where it looms over Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. Once these white frames are fully installed, roofing will be added. I do want to stop and say one thing. Avengers Campus has ruined all the sightlines in Cars Land, and I hate it. I hate that there was no viable solution for any of this. Between that giant warehouse thing they built behind Luigi's, now this is going to pop up there. Behind Mater, you can see the Spider-Man building. I hate it. It's the worst. Either way, the expansion to Avengers Campus includes 2 new rides, Avengers Infinity Defense and Stark Flight Lab. Those are coming in the future. We don't know when. No exact date has been announced. The first pieces of the perimeter fence around the upcoming Coco ride have been spotted at the backside of Disney California Adventure. Construction on the Coco ride began about a month ago with crew members clearing the land. We noted the first signs of the perimeter fence when tall poles appeared on February 12th. Disney filed a permit in December for a new 727-foot-long and 16-foot-high fence with a gate. This fence will be completed before construction of the attraction begins because they have to maintain the perimeter of the park so guests can't, sneak in. Wooden fence panels are being installed down the full length of the fence, which parallels the backstage road leading off of Disneyland Drive. This road may eventually be demolished as part of the ride's construction. We don't know yet. The ongoing construction is visible when looking down from the Pixar Place Hotel just across the street. Disney hasn't announced much about the Coco ride except that it'll feature animatronics. It'll be a nice, lengthy little ride, and it'll follow Miguel into the land of the dead, where you'll hear some of the movie's iconic music along the ride. Its concept art does indicate it will be a boat ride. The preview program for Disney Adventure World reveals that guests will only be able to ride the new Frozen attraction one time by use of a voucher during their preview. The annual pass previews were revealed and quickly booked up during the 2 rounds of reservations that were dropped. They're being held March 15th, 18th, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. There will also be exclusive merchandise just for the preview dates. There will be 2 meet and greet opportunities available. The new facility for Elsa and Anna will be open, as well as a Mickey Mouse meet and greet at the Adventure Bay on the side near Cars Road Trip. Several of the announced entertainment offerings will be present, including the marching band and a moment with Rapunzel and Flynn. The previews will include the new nighttime spectacular Disney Cascade of Lights, though you'll not be able to purchase the reserved area for viewing until well over a week after the opening of the show. Most of the new restaurants and food kiosks will be open as well, as the program also reveals that 3 of the kiosks are named after the 3 Aristocats kittens, Marie, Berlioz, and Toulouse. Most controversially, upon entering World of Frozen, you'll be given a voucher which will give you exactly 1 ride on Frozen Ever After. Rapunzel Tangled Spin, the flat ride spinner, has no such limit. It's been said you're able to leave the land and re-enter once you have scanned in initially, though. Last but not least, the new shops will also open during the previews. It should be noted that the park will have 3 new restrooms as well as 3 new smoking areas, which are visible on this map. World of Frozen opens on March 29th with the renaming of the park to Disney Adventure World. We will be there. In fact, Eric will be there on his first trip to Disneyland Paris. Enjoy, Eric. Disneyland Paris also shared pictures of inside the Nordic Crowns Tavern, the forthcoming counter-service restaurant opening in World of Frozen at Disney Adventure World on March 29th. Nordic Crowns Tavern, right along the shore of the Arendelle Fjord, is a tavern for all kinds. Travelers and villagers alike are welcome in this seafaring spot decked out in maritime charts and paintings. I will say this looks just like the Golden Crocus Inn. It's nearly identical to the Golden Crocus Inn in Hong Kong. We got to go in this venue, but we're not allowed to photograph it during the media preview back in the winter. But now you're looking at photos from inside. Again, it looks nearly identical to what they did in Hong Kong. No surprise there. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.